Whoa! Whoa, spicy mustard! Hello, people of the interwebs. It's your favorite garage-dwelling Sarah here with another Supra review. But not just any Supra. This one has a 4-cylinder in it. Yes, this is a 2021 Toyota Supra 2.0. And the question is, does it ruin a Supra by sticking a turbo 4-banger in it? Despite this being the entry model Supra, I don't think most people will be able to tell just at close glance. I mean, even down to the headlights, they look identical as the ones that come on the top spec A91 edition. But this is a base model, and most car companies cancel that out when you get a base model. The biggest dead giveaway, this is a 4-cylinder Supra, is the wheels and the brakes. This one has 18-inch wheels, unlike the 6-cylinder Supras, and I personally think an 18 fits this car better. It is just the right proportion for the size of the car. Now, these are not forged, and they still have the same size tires. They're Michelin Pilot Super Sports, 255/40s up front and 275/40s in the rear. But because this is the 4-cylinder Supra, you do not get the big brakes. It's only a 1-pot caliper in the front and a 1-pot caliper in the rear. You still get the same great looking ass end as the 6-cylinder Supra, except the exhaust tips are finished in chrome instead of a satin finish. Ooh, you even get the exact same LED taillights as the 6-cylinder Supra. The 4-cylinder Supra has the same size hatch as the 6-cylinder Supra. You're welcome. The number one question people are gonna get though if they buy the base model 4-cylinder Supra is why didn't they just get the 6-cylinder? You'll never hear the end of that question, and I think that deters a lot of people from what could be a fantastic car. And the way manufacturers need to solve this issue is to not make it look like a watered down version of the top spec car, but instead give it something unique in the styling department that makes it enticing to get the base model. Welcome to the inside of the 4-banger Supra. I've already reviewed 2 of these with the 3-liter inline 6, so I'm only gonna point out in this video what's different and why this is $8,000 cheaper. Starting with the seats. Yep, good bolstering even though you can't adjust it. Also, these seats are not heated. It's just a blank square where the heat button would be, which to me just sounds like weight reduction, so I guess that's a plus. Next up, the pedals. Had that been a 6-cylinder Supra, that would have sounded probably the same, but maybe a little different because those had sport pedals, whereas this one just has pedals. Well, here's a new one. Variable pour tous types de cousin goofballs. Those are the goofballs, I guess. Luckily, all the carbon fiber you see in here is standard on all Supras, regardless, and it's real carbon fiber, and it's pretty. I actually like it in the interior of this car. As far as charging smartphones go, this one does not have the Qi. It's Qi-less. But you do have a little USB charge port down here, as well as an old-fashioned cigarette lighter style outlet. However, it is only 1.5 amp, not 2.1. I'm trying not to laugh at this stuff, but I don't know. None of this crap really matters to me. As long as this part is still somewhat the same, that's all that really matters. And there's also a bunch of numbers up here. Who actually uses these? Does anyone actually program stations into these numbers? I've never used them in a car. If you just give this thing a quick glance over on the interior, you really wouldn't notice much difference between this and the 6-cylinder Supras. Now for the important part. It's time to fire this thing up and see how it sounds. Before you say anything, that was with the active exhaust closed. This base model Supra does come with the active exhaust. So, well, let's put it in sport mode and then see how it sounds. Little burbles and pops. There's also some fake effects coming through the speakers, which I don't really think they need. I bet you this engine probably sounds all right on its own. Now this is where you can get into trouble with the base model Supra. This is equipped with a $3,400 and change safety and technology package, which gives you wireless fruit and robot compatibility, navigation, JBL sound system, and a bunch of safety features, which I think negates the point of buying the base model and saving money over the 6-cylinder Supra. This also has the auto stop start, and the thing I like about it is it's fast. I mean, you don't even notice it when it's doing it. It's so seamless, and that's the way this system should be if a car is gonna have it. At least they still give you these on the base model. Power folding mirrors. Love these. In the name of science, it is now time to give this thing the beans. Going to put it into sports mode. And this has launch control, just like the 6-cylinder. To use the launch control, you just disable the traction control and then hold the brake down and then the gas pedal, and then it will say on the gauge cluster, go. Oh, geez. Ooh. It short shifts a little bit. That's good. That's still quick. It's still really quick. 2 pops. 1, 2. This is a first for me. I have never seen a car that actually gives you a warning message to let you know it's gonna be hot under the hood before you pop it. That's kind of nice. Ooh, that's hot under there. Ooh, I should have waited. If ever you break down on the side of the road, you could just rip the hood off and utilize it as a shelter. It's like a banana leaf from Avatar. That made no sense. Hello, and welcome to a spicy garage science with Sarah. Cooking. Anyway, speaking of cooking, what's cooking under the hood of this Supra 2.0 is the B48. Of course, it is sourced from BMW. It is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder with direct injection. I like how they put this oversized plastic engine cover on this thing to try to make it even look like a bigger engine. That produces 255 horsepower from 5,000 to 6,500 RPM and 295 pound-feet of torque from 1,550 to 4,000 RPM. Let's see what it looks like underneath. Pop this thing off. That's hot. Let's just do that, because this is hot. There you go. It's actually mounted at an angle because BMW. Lots of foam underneath. Ooh, that is such soft foam. This is really hot, so I'm gonna put that back. Yow. Dude, this is so crazy. There is like a good 2.5 feet of just nothingness up here. I mean, you have your core support and a radiator and some heat exchangers up here, but there's pretty much nothing from the strut tower forward. Because the engine bay is designed to have a straight 6, the 4-cylinder pretty much starts at the strut tower and goes rearward. It's almost a front mid-engine car. It's so crazy. There's the turbo. There's all kinds of room to work on this thing. Tons of room. It's time for the braking test. Let's see what these little itty bitty 1-pot calipers and 330mm rotors can do. No one behind me? Ready? Whoa! Whoa, spicy mustard! Holy fuck! This thing still stops pretty damn good. Hello, I'm back. It's time to take a look at the drivetrain now I got this thing up on the lift. Come hither. For everyone that was gonna leave a comment saying blah blah blah, nice BMW, there you go. It says BMW. Actually, it would read MW8 if you were drunk and you wrote the number 8. These right here, these packs on the tips, is part of the active exhaust system. There you go. Moving on to the rear diff. This one is not the electronic limited slip. It has a QR code etched into the metal. I feel like Doug DeMuro would love that. Wonder if he's ever found it. I found this odd. The exhaust pipe is kind of smushed right here by the rear diff, and no, it didn't get hit. It's just made like that. And it's not the lowest hanging point either, so I don't know why it would be smushed. If ever you wondered what the bottom side of a 4-cylinder Supra looks like, now you know. It looks like this. Boysen, 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 Boysen BMW. This is also strange. On the bottom of this ZF 8-speed automatic, the pan says, warning, lifetime oil. I'm gonna have to disagree with the engineers on this, and I know that sounds ridiculous. This? Ouch, that hurt my knuckles. This is a beefy under-engine pan. Ouch, that really hurt. That's a lot beefier than I was expecting. Normally these things are made out of cheap plastic. That's damn near a skid plate comparable to what you'd find on an off-road package of a truck. This is kind of nice. Check this out. Ooh, can I turn it? There you go. There's your drain plug. That thing's rugged. That may only be a 1-piston caliper up front, but that boy's thick. Look at the size of that pot. That thing is huge. It's like the size of one of those big Australian beers. And also, that looks like it could be adapted for all-wheel drive. I mean, there's room to clear a drive shaft through this front spindle. I don't know about back here, but that's interesting. I wonder what else this is utilized on. It feels like it pulls harder in the upper RPMs than the 6-cylinder. This is the same ZF 8-speed that's with the 6-cylinder, but it does feel a little bit different in this car. Especially in traffic, I noticed it felt almost a little herky-jerky coming from a dead stop like it was a dual clutch, but it's not. The shifts are great. This is just a solid transmission. The base model suspension in this car is decent. Like, I don't really feel myself missing the adaptive variable suspension. And saving 8,000 bucks kind of opens up the window for pretty much any set of coilovers you could possibly get for this car. It still has the same diameter anti-sway bars as the turbo model. And the lack of the electronic limited slip differential, I don't think you're really gonna notice it unless you're pushing this car to its limits or if it's on a track. This car weighs approximately 3,181 pounds, which is 200 and change pounds lighter than the 6-cylinder. And it has a 50-50 weight distribution. And you definitely notice it driving this car. It feels light and just twitchy. Still twitchy like the 6-cylinder, but twitchy and tossable like the 86 kind of. There are a lot of strong points about buying the base model, I have to admit, but if you're a car enthusiast, you're just not gonna want to because you're gonna hate yourself for not getting the best version of it you possibly could. And that's my argument why back in the day they used to have different variations of cars. I mean, they had like a liftback and they had a coupe. There was all kinds of different body configurations, and I wish they would do that again. Going down to an 18-inch wheel didn't do anything for the road noise. It's about the same inside here. And also, if you roll down one of the windows, oh, that's awful. Oh, it sounds like you're riding on a helicopter. What stood out to me the most about driving this thing though, is how good on gas this car is. I've been averaging just under 30 miles per gallon. Either way, still puts a big smile on my face when I'm driving it, so I guess that's a plus. If you've never seen one of my car reviews before, I have multiple categories to rate and assess them, starting with the bean score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And the 21 Supra 2.0 is getting a rating of 2.2 beans. This is absolutely still enough power to have fun in, and the fact that it's a couple 100 pounds lighter than the 6-cylinder Supra, in my eyes, makes it a little better in some aspects than the 6-cylinder Supra. But I would still choose the 6-cylinder over this, which leads into the next category, the cookie score. There's a fly crawling on my arm. He must want cookies. Ew, he peed on me. Oh, it really did, it's wet. Next is the cookie score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 cookies based on what you get for what you spend. And the base model 2.0 Supra is getting a rating of 3.6 cookies. I still think there's great value here in the performance, but for $8,000 savings, I don't really think I would choose this over the 6-cylinder, especially when you start putting options on it, then it's just kind of a no-brainer. Lastly though is the penguin score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 penguins based on how much I personally like a vehicle. And the Supra 2.0 is getting a rating of 4 penguins. It's not getting the same 5 Penguin rating I gave for the 6-cylinder Supra, and that's just because that is the Supra in my eyes. A turbo straight 6 that's fastest out of the box. This thing's still quick, and I like this better than the idea of just having a non-turbo 6-cylinder base model. But I don't know, I just think Toyota should do something different with this car to make it more enticing. Like introduce again the Celica Supra and make this style just slightly different, and then keep it with the 4-cylinder so it entices people to choose this and not feel like they just got a watered down version of the 6-cylinder Supra. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about that idea of bringing back a Celica Supra and having a little bit different styling for the 4-cylinder version? Yeah? Anyway, I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!